All right, welcome everybody. Academy News, why ROAS lies, the new GPT launch, and a great new class. So today we're going to talk about why ROAS and profit are not the same thing. We're going to talk about how a higher CPA ad could absolutely bring you way more money. We're going to talk about a new live class we're adding to the calendar. And we have no new masterclasses this week, but there's a brand new tool inside of Disruptor Tools. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing, and it's going to blow your mind. Plus, a little bit of community spotlight that I'd like to share with you. So first off, the lesson for today. ROAS is not profit. One of the biggest mistakes advertisers make is confusing return on ad spend with actual profit volume. Here's a simple example. A 300% return on ad spend, a 3x on $20 means the CPA is 20 and the AOV is 60. That's a $40 profit per transaction. However, a 2x ROAS on a $100 CPA means you have a $200 AOV, and that's $100 profit per transaction. Now, that second one has a lower ROAS and a much higher CPA, but you make more than double the volume of profit. But most ad accounts are optimized to kill the second scenario and scale the first, simply because the percentage looks better and the CPA is lower. But if you look at your ad account the right way, every single ad has a different CPA and a different AOV. Go and take a look right now. And when you optimize for ROAS, you're optimizing for the ad that is closest to converting, not the ad that makes you the most money. And that makes sense if your goal is attribution. That makes sense if profit margin is the goal, but it doesn't make any sense if your goal is profit. If you want to make dollars, that doesn't make any sense. So instead, the question should be, where do I get the highest return per sale? Not the highest percentage, but in absolute dollars and cents. If you remove ads that generate less profit, even if the ROAS looks good, and reallocate budgets to the ads that generate more absolute profit, you're going to end up with more money per sale, more money to reinvest in the growth of your business, a simpler ad account, and more scalable growth. The golden rule is simple. You should be focusing on getting bigger by being smaller. And we have a great tool that's actually going to make that easier, and it's something that doesn't exist anywhere. Now, big announcement this week. We have a live Q&A with Phil. Now, Phil has spent several years in email, to put it politely, and lead capture and CRM monetization, and has taught multiple masterclasses here inside Disruptor Academy. This session is an open Ask Me Anything style 1 hour and completely free for everyone in the community. And you can find it on your calendar right now. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is this week, we don't have any masterclasses because we've been spending our time building out a brand new tool. Inside of Disruptor Tools, this is the GPT-powered tool designed to instantly help you simplify your ad account and make better decisions. So I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take a quick little moment to share my screen. Where are we at over here? Here we go. Boom. And let's fly on over to Disruptor Tools. Now, mind you, you can find this in Disruptor Tools, which you can get any one of these tools for $39 or the whole suite for $100. I think it's $99. Anyway. So to take a look at this, and we've gone over the hero offer intelligence, we've gone over the customer journeys and the PSM analyzer. This is brand new. So check this out. We can open the tool. I'm going to take the ads from a very complicated ad account. Okay, this account has 75 ads. All right, you see how fast I did the math. This is $144,000 spent in this month period. Okay, and that's 1,394 purchases at $190,000 in conversion value. Now, the data set had an AOV of 103 and a CPA of 103 and an AOV of 135. So we're making $31.69 per sale, right? Remember, that's AOV minus CPA. Now, what we've done is we built out a graph. So what I want you to do, and taking a look at this, and we have a whole scenario here. The stuff in green means it has a lower than average CPA and a higher than average GPT. These are the ones that can scale. These are the ads that have unleveraged opportunity. You're also going to find some ads in blue. Now, these ads have a higher than average CPA, but also a higher than average GPT. So these are worth keeping around or fixing because the AOV supports the strong GPT and the CPA is the constraint. You can always optimize an environment to bring down the CPA. There's almost nothing you can do outside of the ad to improve the AOV of that ad amongst other ads that are in the same ad set going to the same landing page, to have that one ad just produce higher quality customers than other ones. Basically, you can't do that. Now, we also have this section in yellow called fake wins. These are the ones that have a better than average CPA, but a lower than average GPT, meaning they look really efficient. But the AOV is low, meaning the profit per sale is weak. The fake wins is where you're most likely to see a ton of ads that have a really good return on ad spend. These are your $20 CPA, 3x ROAS ads that make 40% of the profit of the other ones that have a $100 CPA and a 2x ROAS. Like, if you want to make more money, running the fake wins doesn't make any sense. And then we have the liabilities. And these are higher than average CPA with a lower than average GPT. These cost more to acquire and give you less return per sale. Now, the beautiful thing is here, you can click on any one of these. It'll just say, hey, there's this ad. Okay, this is the quadrant is liability. Over here, over here. Now, you're going to find that sometimes there's ads stacked on top of each other. So you can see that. But if you look, these ads all show it. Now, this one, let's see this blue one. Let's see this blue one. Okay, so this one, the CPA is 133 and the GPT is 35. So this GPT of 35 is bigger than this GPT of 31. But the CPA at 133 is higher than the CPA of 103. So it costs more money than average to make a sale, but that sale is more profitable because the AOV is bigger. So this is one we want to keep around because this thing could scale. Now let's look at a fake win. Here the CPA is $89. Awesome. If you want a cheaper sale, you should go for this one because our average CPA is 103. This one is only 89. But on that $89, you make less than $10 profit, where on average we make 30. Well, that's actually not a good thing. In fact, all of these are liabilities to your growth. Now, if we look over here, let's just pick this one. $58 CPA, $97 GPT. It is below average here, above average here. That's what we want. And here's another one, 94 cents. Okay, that's probably not going to continue, but you get the idea, right? So what we're going to have now, we've mapped all this stuff out. You can now select your optimization level. So how aggressive do you want to make your ad account better? Let's say 10%. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to tell you the 41 ads to turn off, which is roughly 13.16%. That's 18% of your 144,000 in spend. So it's actually not a very disruptive element, right? And at 10% optimization level, we have a 90% confidence in the outcome. And what this means is, what we're going to do is say our current CPA is 103. If we turn off all of these ads, we could expect that all the other ads that are running are currently running at a 99. So we would expect our CPA to drop by about 40 cents, which isn't needle moving. It's not massive, but it does allow you to cut 41 ads out of the account, which makes other decisions way easier. And again, the GPT is probably going to get better. Maybe not, because also we're losing some of the AOV. So our current AOV is 135. It would only be 134. So it looks like we actually lose 3 cents, but we're getting more transactions for the dollar. So we're making a slightly lower profit margin, but on a higher volume. But that really helps you understand what's going on, what isn't, right? Now, let's be more aggressive. Let's say we want to be 30%. Well, now we're continuing to see, like, what do we want to do? Here it's 44 ads. Now, in this data set, the reason this really matters is because there's so much waste. You should not be launching more ads in this. There's 75 ads. But if we get rid of 44 of them, we can probably project to get a $4 better CPA. And we would expect our AOV to get, to move a little bit. And our GPT might go up by $5. Now, that is not something to ignore. Also, our confidence is less. So I hope you're beginning to understand like how this works. And it literally just tells you the name. So you can copy and paste. You can also download this CSV. I'll give one other example here. Let's go into here. Let's do another ad example. Let's do this one. This is a much smaller data set, only 15 ads, 50 sales, 10,000 in spend, right? Our GPT is only $12 here, right? These are much easier to see, right? This one is terrible, pretty much because it spent, there are 4 ads in this range. They're all not doing much, right? Now let's be slightly aggressive. 5% change on 15 ads. It's going to suggest turn off 2. That's roughly 8% of our spend. And what that slight change of a 5% optimization is going to do for us is bring our CPA down by about $1. And our GPT, our gross profit is going to go up by about 80 cents. Doesn't sound like a lot, but hey, it's a 5% change. Well, if we want to be hyper aggressive and go to 30, we're going to get 8 ads, which is 33% of the total, okay? Now our CPA could drop by $14 and our GPT could more than double. Now, again, our confidence level is basically the inverse of how aggressive we want to go. But now you can begin to see just how dramatic all of the changes that you want to make are. So if we're ready to be like aggressive, we could do this. Now, this is the same level of change at a 33% as adjusting your budget by 33%. But instead of launching more ads or changing the budget, trying to scale what works or what doesn't work, we could just turn things off to make every sale more profitable. I mean, we're expecting to land into a 27. Now, the way we get there is we would say out of all of the ads, if we only run the ads that are really, really good, our GPT would be 61. But we don't expect to maintain a 161 CPA if we turn off all of the bad ads, because it means the good ads are going to have to work harder. So they're probably going to get a little bit worse. So the beauty of this tool is it models out what that's going to be like using very advanced mathematics that we don't need to get into today, and a lot of history and a lot of just stupid math numbers and stuff. But the point is, we're going to be able to basically say, if we were to be this aggressive, we have a 70% confidence that we could cut the CPA by $14. Our AOV would go up by about $1, but that means we're making nearly twice as much money per sale. Now, what's really important here is that our actual ROAS doesn't get much better, right? A 208 to 220 versus a 194 to 221. That ROAS number doesn't change substantially. And I'll bet you if you go through some of the ads that we would turn off, like, you're going to start to see where the waste is. You're going to start to see what you should get rid of. And that's the beauty of this tool. And it does it, like you see, it does it in seconds. Like, here's another ad set. Here's another group of ads. Sorry, not another ad set. Here's another one. And it does it in, like, it's so fast. Now this one, we got a lot of room up in the scalers. I like it. So just to say this one, 314 on the CPA. This is a higher AOV business, right? And we're doing 27 to 45 here, right? Like, this is pretty solid in the business. We're making $206 per sale. Now let's be hyper aggressive. We've got 46 ads. The hyper aggressive move is to turn off 38 of them. And the interesting thing is that hyper aggressive will reduce the CPA from 314 to 263, but our GPT would actually drop from 206 to 131. This is an example of being really aggressive on optimization not being a good idea, because sometimes it isn't. Primarily because this AOV drops when you get rid of the bad ads, quote unquote. So let's say we only want a 10% improvement. Okay, now our optimization at 10% looks a lot better. We can cut the CPA, we don't sacrifice too much on the AOV, and our GPT gets better. Okay, now we can know that being too aggressive is bad, but we could be more aggressive. How aggressive can we be before it breaks? 25. Okay, the 30% is when it gets bad. So I'm just looking at the GPT lift. 247, 220, or 239, 231, 218, 207. But when we get to 30, oh, it's breaking. It's not good enough. So that's where this is an example of like, oh, what if I just scale my budget by 50%? Or what if I double my budget? Well, it looks like if you were to make a 30% change, it'd be bad for you. And this tool, again, for anybody in Disruptor School or anybody in Disruptor Tools, is available on the annual plan, on the monthly plan, or you can get it for just it by itself for 39 bucks. That is an absolute fucking game changer for so many of you. Now, the last thing I want to talk about today is just a community spotlight opportunity. So many of you are doing incredible things. If you're open to sharing your story in a 5 or 10 minute video, maybe an interview with me, either here in the Academy or on YouTube, I'd love to feature you and help promote your business with my mountaintop. So there's a poll down below. Just vote yes or no. And everyone who says yes will follow up with a win-win opportunity and maybe a little bonus for participating. So that being said, I hope you're doing very well. And the video coming out this week on YouTube, it's coming out tomorrow to celebrate potentially getting past 25,000. Let's see. If I look right now, where's the YouTube at? We are at, come on, YouTube Studio. Where are we at? Oh, look at this. What if I hide myself? Can you see it? No? Okay. We are at 49,996 subscribers. We are 4 away from 50K. So in honor of that, I mapped out the lessons that I learned in the month of January. I did a 30-day test of turning off all of my ads, and I tripled the profit in the business. Now, mind you, I've turned some back on. It's not a sustainable path. I mean, it could be, but I broke down the biggest lessons that I learned so that you can understand how to make more money with your time and how to run a better business based on what I did. And full disclosure, transparency, I share all of my screens, ad accounts, like the receipts from Shopify and Stripe and school. I made 1/4 of the 2025 volume of profit in the month of January this year. We might do $1 million profit in Disruptor School this year. That's fucking crazy. So thank you to everybody. Disruptor School obviously being Disruptor Academy, the Meta MBA, and Disruptor School of just normal Shopify stuff and consulting and all of that. So all that to be said, I hope you're doing well. And until next time, I'll see you on the internet.